Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. Top prospects are being called up. Your Royals are hot. Ippei. Let's talk baseball. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, presented to you by SeatGeek. My name is Jake Ronald Storielli. I'm with Trevor Patrick Plouffe, David Nectar, Paul. See, for a while I thought you were Trevor Paul Plouffe.
Yeah.
David Paul Mendelson.
Yeah. My mom regrets the choice. It's a whole thing.
I was born on my Uncle Ronnie's birthday. James Vincent Michael O'Brien sends his best as we get into the teeth of this baseball season. Happy Friday, April 12th. Trev, how you doing, man?
You know what? I'm doing great, guys. We have a live show tonight, so I'll get to see Chris Rose, Dan Rourke, and Warehouse Willie all in person, and I get to chop it up with a bunch of baseball fans at a brewery. I'm gonna have some beers, talk baseball, and just like hang with people that like the sport that I love or love the sport that I love. So things are good. I also had a little bit of a golf match yesterday. And, Mike Moustakas is still, he's not sure if he's retired yet.
Okay.
He's like kind of done, but there still could be some things happening.
If the right team makes the call, he'll listen to the phone call.
He's a ball player, bro.
Sure.
This guy, he could just show up and casually hit 20 this year. But yesterday we played some golf, and it ended up being third baseman, which was Mike and I, versus the quarterbacks, which was Clausen and Staff.
Must be nice.
Third baseman lost.
Damn.
In a tough match.
Damn.
But we're going to get him next time.
Masters weekend. The boys are bopping. We were in the warehouse just putting asbestos in our lungs.
I was outside in this beautiful California weather.
Glad you were having
Spring is here. Everything is so green. That's why I'm wearing the green today.
Oh, that's nice if you actually thought of that. It's also a little weird.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
I just made that up right now. But hey, Jake, there was a lot of really good baseball played right now. How about them Royals? Are you shitting me?
Vinny P sent him the text last night. Flex. Those boys are feeling good. There's a conversation there. Jackson Holliday gets called up. 3 youngest players in baseball are all named Jackson.
Like that?
You got anything on that? Yeah.
What year were they born? 2003, right? Something like that?
They're all 20 years old, yeah.
What was Michael Jackson doing at that time? Is he alive still?
I don't know.
He was still alive. That was in 09. So.
Okay. Name some other famous
Michael
Jacksons.
Jackson's
Reggie
death year
Jackson.
off the rip?
Yanks won the World Series that year, Jake.
Oh, okay.
2009, Michael Jackson went down, huh?
And R.I.P. to OJ.
It was my last day of school that year.
We're a little all over the board right now. And I do think a part of that, and I think we get it out of the way before we get into the action. We did get some Ippei Shohei updates yesterday. It is the biggest news in baseball. Some crazy stuff, actual legal documents coming out, and Ippei's texting is going down as Hall of Fame in a bad way. Technically, I did steal from him. It's all over for me via text to the bookie. And the numbers that came out yesterday, Trev, I mean, $183 million in losing bets, $142 million in winning bets with a net of $40.7 million in losses. I think the other big thing that has come out, again, these are we're getting into legal government shit's happening. And apparently there's been no bets on baseball, which that's the first big one. And the second big one is I mean, apparently they went through Shohei and Ippei's phone, 7 years of text, and there was never any talk of this. So the story remains that kind of Ippei, bad guy, stole money, operated alone, and it looks like we're heading for whatever the ramifications are of that.
Yeah, I mean, $16 million. We talked about this before the show. Shohei's just out $16 million. Now, I know people, he signed a $700 million contract, but he's not seeing that for quite some time. Like $16 million just gone? And that's all from his account? I'm trying to wrap my brain around it. The thing that my biggest takeaway from this is that Shohei is an absolute baseball rat. He was just focused on ball, people.
Yeah.
Like, didn't even think about anything else. He's like, you're handling all this. Let me just go and be a superstar on the field. And all the while, his guy was just, I mean, he set up his bank account. And that's kind of that was the story a little bit at the beginning. Like, if you're an interpreter, there's so much trust placed in you, especially like their relationship, kind of transcended that. So there's just all this trust, and the legal documents come. Hey, sign here, do this, do that. Like, Ippei was just a scumbag, like a lying, manipulative scumbag. And like, it's just, I don't know what happens. There's still $24 million owed to the guy who has this illegal bookie, or illegal book. We don't know, like, what are the ramifications of that? Like, is anybody else coming after that money? Because you don't just idly let $24 million go if you're like running an illegal book or like mob connected or something like that.
Right.
There's so much stuff going on.
If there's another step after this guy they took down, there's someone who still wants to claim. I don't know. I think I think this guy is the final boss, and that's why we've gotten to this point. But I don't know, man. But yeah, it's a topic, and this show has a lot of jokes on it. You mentioned you were wearing green for spring today, and even when this was all happening, again, you want to make light of the situation a little bit, because Ippei was this beloved, like, home run derby. He was wearing the catcher gear. The Dodgers press conference before the season, and they're bopping around and being silly. Like, Ippei was in baseball people's lexicons. And yeah, we all these, Ippei texting about how bad of a bettor he is. And that's, for everybody's friend chats that have gambling chats, that screenshot got sent to everyone. Like, there's a little bit of comedy attached to it, but you are right. Like, end of the day, Ippei, dude, that's so awful. And I don't know, does he go to like U.S. prison? Are they gonna send him to Japan? Like, what happens?
I think he probably goes to a U.S. prison. I do want to say this, like, clearly there's like an addiction aspect to this,
right?
And like, look, we have a DraftKings sponsorship, but what we always say is bet responsibly. Like, anyone listening to this, like, if you're in gambling, like, make sure you're doing it responsibly. Don't ever get like this. And if you feel like you are, like, tell somebody about it. Because there is a sad aspect to this story. I mean, clearly it didn't start out, just betting millions of dollars on a game. It just kind of snowballed into that. So like, you have to have some compassion for it. And I think we have to make that point that, if you are gambling legally with a legal book, like, just understand, like, you need to do it responsibly. And there's a lot of help out there if you are struggling with that. Make the call if you feel like you are. This is what happens, man. This is a cautionary tale of what can happen.
Trev, maybe
I had to throw that out there, man.
Yeah, no, maybe that can become the win from this situation. That it's gambling can hit a competitive chord with people, and if you start betting to win back money, that's not the formula. If you're betting to have some fun with the fellas, and you can have a weekend with it, you can have some losses and some wins, and if it's within your means, but don't get yourself in $20 million, $40 million of losses? I don't know, man. The numbers are still...
They're crazy.
The amount of bets.
19,000 bets,
What?
12,000 average per bet. Some of the things that are coming out, like they have all these calls of Ippei pretending to be Ohtani with his bank. That's crazy. All of the winnings were transferred into Ippei's bank account. All of the losses were taken out of Ohtani's bank account. Like, that's kind of crazy too.
So
I don't know, man.
So follow up on that, because I was, we were reading that, there's a Reddit thread. John was sending some screenshots. Because you're mentioning, baller Shohei not noticing that 16 million or 20 million is being gone. If the losing bets are coming from Shohei's account and the winning bets are going into Ippei's account, shouldn't Shohei's bank account be minus a lot more money?
No, he's just stole 16 million from him. But he was keeping the winnings. So Ippei, in his account was balling.
That's how he got that.
I mean, that's one surefire way to win. If you're just paying your losses with somebody else's money and keeping the winnings, you're going to be up.
If you have,
they're not.
I don't recommend that, people. Holy snake!
I was just going to do the opposite. If you have someone that willingly gives you money to bet, and you can just keep the winnings, that's just someone who donates money to you, I guess. Ippei was stealing.
Again, I just think this is it's sad. It's like, there's some numbers that make it seem like crazy, like out of a movie, but in reality, this is all just a sad story.
Yeah.
Is what it is. I mean, Ippei, he's going to jail for a long time, and this guy had an incredible job, an incredible opportunity that he could have just had that. And instead he gets caught up and he gets addicted, and here we are. And it's, he got in too deep and never made that call. So again, I think people should look at this as a cautionary tale.
On the baseball side of it real quick, before we fully dive into ball, Shohei, with all of this going on, is leading baseball in hits, extra base hits. Or, excuse me, he's off to his best start compared to any season he's had. Hits, extra base hits, batting average, runs, total bases on base. That's kind of
ball with his bros. That's it, dude.
Shohei just wants to ball with the boys. And that's what we're doing.
He's focused on ball, and you got to love that if you're a Dodgers fan. Angels fans already knew that, but this guy doesn't care about literally anything else except baseball. Even when I see him do like his Hugo Boss stuff, I feel like he's just like, can I just get out of here? I just want to go take batting practice in the tunnel. I want to go rehab my arm. Like, this guy just loves the game.
And
refreshing.
He posted a Instagram story last night. He got a gift basket from Decoy Wine.
Okay.
And they gave
I drank some Decoy in my day.
They gave his dog Decoy a dog toy wine bottle Decoy. That I'm gonna assume if Shohei posted, there might have been a couple dollars sent his way.
You don't know.
But I don't know that. It could be genius marketing by Decoy. And now we're talking about it.
Don't worry. I have so many plans that also involve Shohei. I'll tell you guys about him off screen. I want to use Shohei's celebrity.
I can't wait for that. Can't wait for that update. Let's talk some ball, man.
Decoy Wine got the little duck on it, right?
Yeah. I had a bottle or two.
Oh, me too. I like a nice red wine, white wine, doesn't matter.
Nice Cab Sav. It's Friday. Let's do some National League. We just technically did, but
you've started.
No, more.
And Trevor, Goof, you wanted to talk about the NL Central, and it starts with the Milwaukee Brewers, who they beat the Cincinnati Reds 2 games out of 3 after they lost the first game. Ellie De La Cruz show. 450 out of the park, and then 15 seconds around the bases inside the park home run. Reds led 8-0. Brewers put a little rally together to give him a scare, but then the Reds opened it up. But then the Brew Crew came back the rest of the series. Christian Yelich, Trevi, your guy has been balling out. The whole Brewers outfield had a day. Frelick, Perkins, and Yelich in that middle game. And then, how do you like this? Wade Miley twirling it up there at 85, taking down Hunter Green, throwing it 185. Because it doesn't matter. You just got to get the out sometimes. And the Brew Crew off to a hot start, leading the Central. The Atlanta Braves and the Mets, you know what happened here, right? Wrong. The Metropolitans take 2 out of 3. They've righted the ship after their no good, very bad start, including a 16-4 blowout in the final day. Okay, Mets. Brandon Nimmo broke out of his funk with a 4 for 4 in the first game. Like I said, that last game, everyone was hitting. Tyrone Taylor, 4 RBI. Was that his grand salami? My goodness. Man, the New York Mets take down the Braves. 1 game got rained out. This was supposed to be a 4-game set. Ronaldo Lopez, good start in the 1 game that they won. Mets starting to feel some juice. Phillies take 2 out of 3 from the Cardinals. They win the bread games. Cardinals tied up that first game in the 9th. Jordan Walker and Mason Wynn RBIs. Hello, future. But the Phillies, they take the lead in the 10th. They win that game. Spencer Turnbull, 2nd scoreless start to begin the season. Okay, mark that down. Sonny Gray came back for the Cardinals in a game they won 3-0, and then the Phillies won on the final day. Brandon Marsh and Castellanos with RBI singles to break up the tie. D-backs, they get it figured out. They take 2 out of 3 from the Rockies. They lost the first one. And I know Dalton and myself, Snakes fans at John Boy Media, a little nervous. D-backs rally to get it done. Gabby Moreno, 4-hit day. Merrill Kelly, 6 innings, 2 earnings. And then Blaze Alexander. Man, he's been hitting a little bit. Interested to see what that turns into. They take the series from the Rocks. Cubbies and Padres. Fernando! The comeback win in that first game. Down 8-0 through 5. 7 runs in the 6th and 2 in the 8th. Cronenworth, Kim, Campusano, Bogarts, and then the Tatis homer. Doesn't get much better than that call or that swing, if we're being honest. The Cubs, they did their damage in Game 2. 5 runs in the 5th. Christopher Morel, grand slam. You guys know I like that. Eggy Rosario with the pinch hit homer. Sure. And then Dylan Cease mows them down on that final day. That the Padres, they win a series. They kind of needed that. Didn't need this. Nationals. Well, sorry, Nats fans. You win a series over the Giants. They take 2 out of 3. They win the first 2 games. Giants salvage the last one. Jordan Hicks with another nice start. Look at him twirling it. Hey, I'll give some Nats love. I see you, Lane Thomas. Trey Lipscomb out of Tennessee. Why not? C.J. Abrams, Jesse Winker in the middle of that lineup. Would love to see the bounce back for him. Nick Ahmed with a 3-hit day on the game the Giants won, but the Nats take the series. And then Tigers-Pirates, they end up splitting 2. Bednar blows the save in that last game. And our guy, Rowdy Tellez, jumps in front of the mic and defends him. Otherwise, the Pirates would have had both games here. Good rally by the Tigers. 2-game split, interleague. Bleh. Trev, give me the standings.
The standings in the National League. By the way, Poppy, fire.
Yeah.
As always. I got it. What color is your shirt? Is that an olive green? Is it gray?
It's gray.
Yeah, I'd say
I'm not
gray.
a good color guy.
It's okay.
Looking
I
at
get mixed
how
up.
it looks in the camera,
I can
I
see
see
what
where
you're
you're
saying.
where you're coming from. I think there could be another color mixed in. It's gray.
You don't know where I'm coming from, Beavers.
I don't know shit.
The standings in the National League. In the National League East, the Braves are just. Have you seen what their team OPS is? It's like 880.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Everyone talks about the Dodgers, but like the Braves are miles ahead of them offense. So they're hitting 300 as a team. Look out for them. They're 7-4 in first place. Phillies right behind them, 7-6 on the year. Then that's the Mets and the Nationals tied at 5-7. Then the Miami Marlins, 2-11 on the season. In the Central, which we'll probably be talking about here in a little bit, the Brew Crew in first place at 8-3. Pittsburgh right behind them at 9-4. Chicago Cubs 7-5. Cincinnati Reds 6-6, and the St. Louis Cardinals, who I picked to win the division. Don't know how I feel about that pick, although Sonny Gray looked good. 6-7, and in the West, the Dodgers are leading things. They're 10-5, the only team above 500 in the division, as the Padres are behind them at 7-8. The Arizona Cardinals. That's football, Trev. Figure it out. The D-backs at 6-7. The Giants at 5-8, and Jake's and Kelsey Wingert's Rocks at 3-10.
Working on it. Yeah, Trev, let's start out with a little Central, and the easiest way to kick it off, Brewers Reds, and I guess I was just laughing a little bit internally because a little bit Brewers Reds here, like the highlight, the Elly De La Cruz night, it doesn't get more electric. Like to see a ball hit that far and then to see a man that size circle the bases on an inside the park home run.
We give the time and whatever it was, 14 seconds, but like he wasn't even running hard out of the box.
Yeah.
Like I want to see what he could do if he's like, he legit ran hard out of the box. He was kind of just scoping it out, kind of like a low, not too hard hit line drive, sneaks in front of the center fielder there. And then he starts running. And when he turns it on, bro,
yeah,
it's like 4 steps to get to each base. I was known throughout baseball for having some of the choppiest, smallest strides. Like you watch me run, I just don't have the long stride, and I always wanted it. And every time I see someone that does that, I'm so envious. So that's like the first thing I noticed was this motherfucker gets to each base with like literally 4 or 5 steps. It's very impressive.
I saw him tag up on I think it was a routine fly ball to right field, first to second. But I guess the part that I said I was laughing about a minute ago, as we're oohing and ahhing about Elly De La Cruz, Brewers win the series. And Christian Yelich, who was kind of old reliable that people thought, are the Brewers... We had conversations that the Brewers were going to salary dump Christian Yelich at some point.
Did we?
I know Yankee fans did, because we've been looking for a lefty left fielder for a while.
Of course, salary dump him right into our hands.
But you have to admit, I mean, Christian Yelich had a couple years there where it was like, for the contract he got.
Sure.
On a team that values contracts that way.
Christian Yelich for 3 seasons, if you count 2020, the COVID shortened season, the OPS was 740-ish. He bounced back last year, kind of a little on-base percentage game with a little bit of pop and those steals. And this year, the pop is there. He's leading the National League in home runs early on. I don't think he had a 5-homer month all of last season, and he's currently got 5 as we sit here April 12th. And the Brewers as a team, you mentioned the Braves team hitting, which that's just doesn't even make sense when you look at the team stats. But the Milwaukee Brewers, they're third in team OPS. Braves, Dodgers, Brewers. So I don't know, Trev. I think the Devin Williams injury, you mentioned this as we were talking before the show. You forget how quick baseball moves on. That I remember hearing that, and I was like, oh man, with the Corbin Burns trade and Devin Williams is out, it's like,
dude,
they're here.
If we were to tell you, in the offseason, Corbin Burns is going to be traded, Devin Williams is going to be out, Aaron Ashby is going to be sent down, within the first couple of weeks of the season, you'd be like, oh, this is going to be a disaster for the Brew Crew. Instead, Freddie Peralta is doing his thing. That's, we knew that was going to happen. He's a stud.
Yeah.
But then you got guys like Wade Miley doing it. You guys got guys like Jacob Junis coming in and filling in and having some good starts. And then you got a guy like Joe Ross, who
Yeah.
worked his way back from a second Tommy John, hasn't had like pitched in the big league since 2021. Winning starts. This is why when we saw that number in the offseason, whatever it was like 76 or something like that, we all just locked it in. Like the Brewers
Yeah.
operate when their backs are against the wall. It just seems like that's been the case year after year after year, whatever that is. I mean, that's them being able to develop different pitchers. I think that has something to do with it. The way they play the game is a little bit different. And how about this? They also lost that savant leading the team in Craig Counsell. Our guy, Pat Murphy, doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
He's still leading them right here, right where they need to be. And really, there's something about like this team knows like they're just not going to go out and spend. Or so it's like it really is, guys. It's us in the clubhouse. Let's go get it done. And it seems like they always have really good team chemistry like that. And maybe that stems from a guy like Yelich who's been there a long time, and he's not the most vocal leader. But I think when you bring in Reese with Yelly, like that's a really, really good combo of veteran leadership in the clubhouse, man. But they're doing it, dude. They're doing it.
Pretty much everybody's numbers on that Brew Crew lineup right now is average or above average. And the other guy that needs to be mentioned, William Contreras, 1.022 OPS so far. Yelly, Reeser have been stable. You didn't mention Churio there, who he's brought something. 282,
Yes.
787 OPS to start the season. Contreras the last week has probably been the best hitter around baseball. And yeah, that people when we did the TPP, I kind of did a head tilt because I was like, there's more in this Brewers lineup that you can currently bank on. Like Contreras, Yelly, Adames, and Reese. I feel like there haven't been four guys like that you could say, hey, I can pretty much tell you, I can pencil in around what you're going to get from those guys. And then it was just Churio, this is the third prospect in the game, and our prospect scouting has gotten a little better. That's usually a guy that's going to bring something. But the Bryce Terangs, the Oliver Dunns, the Frelix, Joey Ortiz, Blake Perkins. I mean, if one or two of those guys can stay on, the Brewers have a nice lineup, and they're currently getting that day in, day out.
It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, that division, who we all were just like, it's jumbled up, it's going to be a mess, and we kind of said that in a negative way, like they're the best division in baseball right now. And it is going to be a mess, and it is going to be all jumbled up, and it's going to be one of the more compelling division races. So there is a lot of fun ball players in that division too. I mean, I love watching the Cubs play.
Sure.
I mean, the Reds obviously have a ton of star power, young guys, the electricity that they can bring. Shout out our guy Jonathan Indy, who got smoked with a foul ball. Did you see that?
Yeah.
He was doing his defensive work on the side, and I don't know how you pull a ball like that in BP. I believe it was, who was it? Who hit it? I don't know. Somebody hit it. That doesn't feel good.
No.
But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a fun division.
Trev,
We didn't even talk about the Pirates and what they do.
I think we will in a second, but let's play a fun game. And usually you and me, I think we trip over our shoelaces when I try to do something like this. Fan graphs. And again, they're using numbers from previous teams, previous performance, and some upcoming. But early percentage chance to make the playoffs in the NL Central. All of the teams via Fangraphs have a 20+% chance to make the playoffs, which that's, I don't know, kind of
I'm not good at percentages.
I know you're not.
That from this show.
So the top percentage to make the playoffs is 46.6%. Which team do you think they have from the NL Central?
I'm going to say Cubs.
That's who they have. The Cubs. They have a 46.6% shot to make the playoffs, 27% to win the division. At number 2, 42.7%.
I think I'll go Brewers.
It's the Milwaukee Brewers, Trev.
All
Look
right,
at
I'm
us
crushing
cook.
this.
42.1%. So very similar to the Brewers. They have.
Wait, another one?
Yeah. Basically
At
the
40%
same.
to make the playoffs?
Yes.
Oh, shit, the Reds.
St. Louis Cardinals. St. Louis
Okay.
Cardinals. They have the Pirates at 30% and then the Reds in last at 22.8%. So, hey, we're using playoff percentages in April 12th, but it's just to highlight this NL Central and the wide openness of it that I think I truly, and I think people have heard me say this, I think it went from a little bit sad NL Central, like who's going to win this with 85 games, to like, I think a lot of these teams have beefed up their talent from last year, and all of these teams think they're going to be dancing. That I think the NL Central's a lot of fun. Like the Pirates, dude, Rowdy Tellez jumping in Bednar's press conference. You know, if David Bednar, he's 1 for 4 on his save opportunities this year, what would the Pirates record be? They're 9-4.
Yeah. It's I think the reason that the collective baseball world looks at the Central and kind of discredits it a little bit, at least, over the offseason and whatnot. Some people didn't.
Right.
I think Eno Saris picked the Pirates to win the division because he's a sicko. They're young. They're young, and there's a lot of young, kind of like unproven players there at the big league level.
That's true.
But there's talent. So, they're getting adjusted, and some guys are having good years and some guys aren't. But it's a young division that I think in a couple years we're going to be saying, holy shit, like this is a powerhouse division.
I hope you're right. I
think
these are some traditional baseball franchises in here that I think we're lacking a little bit of juice, and now I'm in on it. Cubs, I think we should hit them just a little bit quickly because they've been hitting too. It feels like every time we look at Michael Bush's stat page. By the way, if you're looking for a flip channel this weekend, Baltimore and the Brewers are teeing it up. That's
Corbin Burns, is he pitching against them? I think he is.
Let me see. I think DL Hall. Corbin Burns is pitching the Sunday game. DL Hall has the Saturday game. Freddie Peralta Friday night. So tune into that. Your Chicago Cubs be hitting, Trev. Again, I think they are the 4th team in OPS when I was mentioning team stats before.
Tied with the Royals at 771.
Your Royals, baby. Watch out. The Cubbies, they actually end up dropping the series to San Diego. Good for San Diego getting there, and that comeback. That comeback was sick. And I'll let you talk about just the Tatis homer and the feel of that, because I know before the show you were like, he got that one.
Well, he's just, I talked about this on Baseball Today. Like I think he is the most electric player in baseball. Like when all things are right. Like he won a platinum glove in right field his first year playing the outfield. Like, let me repeat that. He won the platinum glove first year playing the outfield. Like, that's insane, people. So he makes incredible catches out there, which, like, I don't know if there's statistics on this, but is right field in San Diego the hardest place to play in the outfield? Like, have you seen the cutouts there and like the awkward fence line? It's all over the place.
Yeah, I remember. No. I remember the what was it? The COVID playoffs. Watching a lot of games at San Diego, and yeah, it is fun. I don't know how you rank or grade that, but that's an interesting.
Somebody probably has a stat.
Someone's got it.
Of course it is. Whatever. Watching him play in the outfield is a lot of fun. He's got a hose. He can run down balls. He's like long. Like, I love like long baseball players in the outfield. The what Superman short guy is great, but like
what?
You don't like when the long guy dives.
Yeah,
it's just better.
I'm clearly not going to.
You're out on that. That's fine. I don't care. But no, Tatis' homer, and kind of the way he started, his numbers are kind of like on par with what he's done in his career. Last year, down year offensively, 770 OPS, which, a lot of people would like to have that, but that's not a Fernando Tatis number. And he's just gotten back to the kind of player. Like, do you remember all the hype and hoopla with him?
Yeah.
Like he is and should be one of the faces of baseball. Like that's how good of a freaking player he is, and that homer was awesome, dude. Like there's something like he is cool, and he doesn't have to try to be cool, which I like more than anything. Like he just gets it. Like he looks good in the uni. Like everything works for him, and it helps that he's probably one of, if not the most talented player in baseball. Well, Shohei and then him. Like, is there anybody else that's more talented? I'm taking Shohei out of the equation.
Right.
Like you're talking Mookie, you're talking Fernando Tatis, and then is there somebody else?
Yeah, I mean because talent has to be mixed with results, right? So that's where
They're getting the results. You play defense.
Mookie at this point doesn't play nearly as sexy as Fernando, yet playing short.
He doesn't? I don't know.
Well, like his running isn't what it used to be for Mookie Betts, where Tatis kind of still. Tatis is young. He has that young man gear. That again, we were talking about Ellie De La Cruz for a second, but he has to prove a lot more on the field. But yeah, a natural swagger. Like there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of athletes. There's people outside of baseball that look for their own swagger or try to force something. And Tatis, it just seems, for whatever reason, the eye black, the hair, like when the outfit all comes together.
He hit the homer in Tony Gwynn cleats. Like that was really cool.
Yeah. Some people are cool. Some people are cool.
Kind of, yes.
Other people are Chris Rose. Come on. That's a joke he would make about himself. And I'm basically his short adopted son, so I can say that. I don't know, Trev. Any other National League storylines that you like here? The Mets showed a little bit of punch where they were kind of becoming the Mets punching bag joke a little bit. I know our guy Jolly Olive was nervous that, he just wanted a fun summer of baseball to watch, and it felt like that was crumbling away in the first week of April.
Started very poorly.
Yeah,
yes.
But hey, they've come back since that, what was it, 1-5, 1-6 start. They've been playing winning baseball, and they take down the big bad Braves, and they do it in emphatic fashion on that final game, which that means something in a clubhouse, right?
It does mean something in a clubhouse. You mentioned, I believe it's a Tyrone Taylor grand slam. I believe it was off a position player. Now he has 2 homers against a position player. I have 2 homers against position players, so now I'm like kind of freaking out a little bit. Yeah, I'm happy. This is a long season, people, and we're talking about guys getting up to hot starts. Those aren't going to last. Cold streaks to begin the year, like the Mets, those aren't going to last. The Mets are going to be in the mix here. I do believe that. It's not easy taking 2 or 3 from the Braves. Okay, like you got to be pretty happy about that. A couple of guys I wanted to mention. Shout out Sonny Gray. He makes his debut. Goes 5 innings pitched. No Ernies against the Phillies. So good offense to do that against. CJ Abrams, who I've been talking about this guy for a long time. I said when he figures it out offensively, he's going to do it. Go check out his Baseball Savant page right now. 96 percentile in expected slugging. 91%, 91st percentile sweet spot. Like the guy's putting the barrel on the ball. Like he's like the homers that he's hit, he's crushed.
Oh God.
Yeah, he's doing it. And this guy is 23 years old and is a Gold Glove shortstop and just can really do it. So check him out. There's one other guy I wanted to mention and I forgot who it was.
Okay. I do
like Trey Lipscomb though, by the way. I think this guy's a player. I think he's a player.
Rookie out of Tennessee, from Tennessee. Shout out to David Paul. Before the show, he pointed out in that Mets Braves game, our guy Luis Guillorme, who we were like, oh, Braves, they're gonna put him on the bench. What, Guillorme at some point will be hitting 360 this year. Appeared in his first game because the Braves just play their starting lineup. Appeared in his first game as the pitcher.
Yeah, he gave the homer
and gets rocked. That's tough, man. I mean, I think Guillorme's got the personality to handle it, but
there's no record of him offensively. Hasn't taken it that bad. The Baseball Reference looks hilarious for this year.
I guess if the checks are still clearing, but I don't know. Guillermo, sit Albies for a day. Let me get some run.
They don't want to do that. They
I
just
know.
want to play. Those guys want to play. Shout out. It was DJ Stewart who I wanted to mention, and that was a Jolly Olive thing. He started the year off 0 for like 12, and then has a nice game there in the first game of the series. 1 for 3, the homer, the 2 RBI. I did mention I don't want to bring Mets fans down. You just won a series, but I just saw a stat. I didn't know if it was true or not. I believe runners were 21 for 21 in stolen base attempts against the Mets. We got to throw some people out.
Let's get one. Let's get one on the board.
Let's get one and get the ball rolling a little bit.
If that's right. Good for you.
What's Pete Alonso hitting right now? I feel like he's raking. Is he?
Okay, this is a fun game. I haven't seen a lot of Alonso this year.
Okay, he's not raking.
He hasn't fully gone, but a couple timely homers, I believe.
Okay.
Part of some almost
He's not
comebacks.
raking whatsoever. I'm just seeing the highlights when he does well. That's the problem here, people. 220 batting average, 291 OBP, 420 slug, 711 OPS. So you got to get it going there, though, Pete.
Your past NLCS and future NLCS, Phils and Snakes both get winning series, which they both kind of needed. And I know Jordan Montgomery, I know he made one minor league start. I know the Snakes are looking for him after he changes agents. He's off the Boras bus. So I don't know. Something interesting to track for this offseason. We already did it before this season, but Boras has some big fish again. Soto, Bregman, Alonso, and if Snell, Chapman opt out, I don't know. The Boras MLB conversation will be continuing. I don't know if there's much for right now, but get Monty back. Let's go Snakes. Trev, you like baseball?
I love baseball.
You love baseball.
I really do.
We got shirt. I need to get myself another I love baseball shirt.
I think I was looking at the website. I feel like we might have re-uploaded on our new nicer shirts.
Yeah.
That got me excited.
I do like our new nicer shirts. Go buy some shirts from our website, shop.johnboymedia.com. The shirts are great.
Wow. Ad. Speaking of, if you like baseball, you should get MLB 9 Innings, the app. It's the Major League Baseball game you can play in the palm of your hands. MLB 9 Innings has a wide variety of game modes, from league mode, users play through a season, to live PvP. They have over 2,000 player cards to collect. Use in your dream roster. They got the legends, Mo Mariano, Joe Morgan, Bob Gibson, Eddie Murray. And they've got the other guys. I know, shout out to my guy, Gleyber Torres, having a big season in MLB 9 Innings. Currently not so much in the real one, but he's coming. He's coming. And if you have a phone, you like baseball, download MLB 9 Innings 24 today. There's a link in the description. Have some fun. Check it out. Let's check out some American League Baseball. How do you like the New York Yankees, Trev? Oh, get that thumbs down out of here. The Yankees, they win another series. It's all they've done this year. They take down the Miami Marlins 7-0. Nestor, might hear about him in a little bit. 8-inning shut piece. And then Rodon, 6 shut of his own, with the offense clicking enough. Verdugo with a couple nice games. Juan Soto, Anthony Volpe. The Yanks do drop the final one. Jake, how's your burger? Little 3-run homer. Easy power, Trev. Easy power out of him. Yanks rolling. The Toronto Blue Jays, my Blue Jays, they take 2 out of 3 from the Seattle Mariners. Pretty sure the Mariners haven't won a series yet. We'll talk about that. They won the final game. They needed 10 innings to do it. Gilbert and Kikuchi both shoving. But the Jays, Vladdy, Schneider, IKF getting it done in the first game, with Bo Bichette with the homer in game 2. There was some stat Dalton dug up. Blue Jays are 5-2 when they homer, 4-1 when they out-hit their opponents this year. Sure, do a little more of that. A lot of talent on that field. Blue Jays get a series win. Mariners? Guard Dogs, they have been winning, Trev. This series is over the White Sox. hey, they take 2 out of 3. And more importantly, they're getting some hitting performances. How about the Naylor bros? Might hear more about that in a little bit. Jimenez and Kwan in the first game. Meanwhile, Andrew Vaughn and Corey Lee get it done in the middle of game 2. Sticks McKenzie, 5.2 shutout. Guardians. Them and the Yankees are about to tee it up. What do you got there, Trev? A little coffee? Water? Sorry, I got distracted, but excited. The Rays, they take 2 out of 3 from the Angels. They win the final 2 games of that series after Tyler Anderson dropped it on him. Mike Trout, people asking, is he still the best player in baseball? Put it in my veins. Everyone is like, yeah, kinda. No one really cares. Yeah. And then the Rays going Ray. Jose Caballero has been getting on base and pissing people off, and he hits a homer in the final game. Isaac Paredes. God, go look at that guy's stats from last year. And how about Ron Washington laying into Joe Adele a little bit. A little coaching. Coaching is back, people. Rays get it done in the final 2 games there. Dodgers take 2 out of 3 from your Twins, Trevor. Again, that Twins offense hasn't hit their stride yet, for lack of a better term. They won on the final game. There was that sick Carlos Correa relay play to get Ohtani at the plate. But Tyler Glasnow, 7 innings, 14 Ks. James Paxton, 6 innings, 2 earned run in the first one. Shohei's been hitting. Will Smith and Outman in that second game. Dodgers get it done. The Baltimore Orioles take out the broomsticks against the Sox. How's your opening day homestand, Boston? These games, Boston had a lead in the second game, 5-0. Baltimore comes all the way back. They got Corbin Burns in the first game. Colton Cowser's going nut job. Jackson Holliday gets called up, gets a little bit of Major League Baseball. Still think he's hunting that first hit. Welcome to the show, kiddo. Tyler O'Neill homered in the first game, wasn't enough. Orioles, final game, 10th, extra innings, and Orioles blow them out 9-4. That's always a tough one. How about the Kansas City Royals? Win streak going on. They sweep the Houston Astros. Salvi with the walk-off in game 1. Vinny Pasquantino with 6 hits in the final 2 games. Bobby Witt goes nut job in the last game, and he was the kind of one of the only guys that hadn't been clicking. They are pitching. Houston, are we getting worried? Not yet. It's still early enough. And how about the Oakland Athletics taking 2 out of 3 from Texas, Trev? You can stop the music. We're almost home. JP Sears, 6 innings, only 1 hit, a 1-0 win in that final game. The Oakland A's have been winning ball games. Okay, Oakland, I see ya. And let's see where they are in the standings, Trev.
Sorry, I was just Bobby Witt's been going off the entire year, I think.
Oh, I think maybe just in those first 2 games.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I was just checking that. Yes, the standings. That's my job. Obviously, great job for you, Jacob, running through the American League right there. In the East, your Yanks, 10-3. They're actually crushing. I'm very happy for you guys. Congratulations. You're in first place. Baltimore Orioles right behind you at 8-4. Then it's the Red Sox and Tampa tied at 7-6, and Toronto at 6-7 in the Central. Boy, oh boy. My Twinkies need to figure it out offensively. Cleveland, they are doing it. They don't care they lost their ace. 9-3 on the year. Kansas City has won 7 straight. We're going to talk about that. They're sitting at 9-4. The Tigers 7-4. My Twins 4-6, and the White Sox 2-10. And then out west, the Rangers still leading the division, even though they got a series taken from them by Oakland. They're 7-6. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim 6-6. Oakland 5-8. Seattle 5-8. And Houston bringing up the rear at 4-10. My goodness, Jake.
A little bit.
This is why it's like we do predictions at the beginning of the year. I'm like, what are we doing?
Well,
we just don't know what's going to happen. And it is early in the year.
Yes, it's a little bit of
but
that.
Holy.
And it's a little bit, June's going to come around and, the odds would say that Houston clicks and we'll be like, remember that 4-10 start?
They have a lot of injuries to the pitching.
But, let's see. Let's highlight some good quick. We had 2 sweeps. The Baltimore Birds, who call up Jackson Holliday. We did a little bit of that, but it's exciting. I think they're giving shirts away at the homestand that they called them up, which that's kind of funny to me. And yeah, they sweep the Red Sox. The Red Sox, we were giving them their flowers for that West Coast road trip, and then they get clipped by the Birds, and they could have had 2 of those games. Everyone's going to get Corbin Burns once or twice this year. But yeah, they were up 5-0, and it's why I love the Orioles. They bless you, Beebs. And it's a little bit of Fenway, it's a little bit of Orioles, but they constantly apply pressure up and down the lineup. That I know you were debating giving Colton Cowser your award. He'll
be there.
He's been he's at the bottom of that line. Jordan Westberg had a big home run in this series, 8-hole. And now top prospect, 1-1, Jackson Holliday. Here's your 9-hole second baseman. That, man, it still is funny looking at their lineup because you feel like in the middle there should be 1 or 2 more poppy names, but it's just constant. Every hitter gives a tough at bat that they can have a 5-run inning basically every inning.
That's what happened in this series. I mean, Boston, besides the first game where they got Corbin Burns, that's tough. 7 innings pitched for him, 1 earned run, like you mentioned. But they scored late in that game. They scored late in the second game, and Boston was in all of these games. They played pretty sloppy defense. In the second game, Duran drops a fly ball, leads to two more runs in the fourth. The last game, who's it? Hamilton, the shortstop right now. Like they're turning a double inning and double play against Rutschman. Yeah. He misses the bag.
Yeah.
And then Santander comes up and hits the homer. Like what you're saying about the Orioles is true. Like they're kind of relentless, but you just can't give them the opportunities to be relentless. And that's what Boston did this series. I mean, they had Boston for, Trevor Story's out. Nick Pavetta's dealing with some arm stuff. Like their pitching has been lights out, dude. Their starters have been really good, even in this series. I mean, look at the lines, man. 5 1/3, 1 earned run for Bayo. Cutter Crawford goes 5 innings pitched, no earned runs. Garrett Whitlock goes 5 innings pitched, 1 earned run. Like they're still doing it. But if you're making these mistakes late in games, yeah, a team like the Baltimore Orioles they're going to cash in on it. And I was watching the game yesterday when Henderson hits the homer and they just kind of pull away there in the extras. By the way, beautiful swing on the Henderson homer over the monster. Fastball up in the zone, like not a bad pitch.
No.
And just wallops it, man. What they were saying, I believe Millar was on the broadcast because they were doing some opening day ceremony stuff, home opener, whatever. He's saying these guys are not just like good baseball players, they're physical. Like they're bigger than you like give them credit. So like they're the guys right now. And I think it's taken me a while to jump on the Orioles train, even after they won 100 games last year. I still haven't fully jumped on. But when you do see these guys all in the lineup and the at-bats they're doing, then now you're adding like Colton Cowser, like flying under the radar because they have these other super prospects. Like his swing in the last, and he hits 2 homers in that last game. In the 10th, he had a second one. It was a bomb. About as you look back at your career, there's a few homers that just feel good, and you just really pure to swing. This was going to be one of them. It will be one of them for him. I mean, just an absolute beauty of a swing, about as good as you can do it. So you start now to have that length in that lineup, and it's impressive. And I believe Bradish is throwing already again, so that's that's awesome for them.
Yeah, Boston first in starting pitching, ERA, and WHIP, which again, it's early, but That's what they would have been asked for. Yeah, I just from the Boston fans I know, they just want to clean it up. Like the sloppy defense, and Chris Martin got kind of wild on the bump. That with a team like Baltimore, that's how you go from winning a game or two to getting swept.
I don't know how you clean a defense. A defense, was just.
And the story news is brutal.
Yeah.
You lose your starting shortstop, any team, you feel that, and especially with his history and how excited he was for this season. I mean, that's crushing. But yeah, I mean the Duran ball. I know Sox fans. Hey, they're not sure what they're gonna get from this team, but you just don't want a sloppy product. And then meanwhile, the Orioles, I know, are complimenting their offense. They are 7th in runs, which is a stat I value. Some of the other hitting stats, they haven't fully clicked yet, but they're pitching. Their bullpen is first in WHIP. Starting rotation 5th in WHIP. So they, as much as we get sucked into their hitting, they do it on the other side of the ball as well. Speaking of doing it on both sides of the ball, your Kansas City Royals, they sweep the Houston Astros. That again, let's see what that looks like in a couple months from now. Bobby Witt, what I was quoting, I think he was in a 3 for 20 before he went off in this series. Before
really?
that,
was I looking at the wrong statistics or something?
I mean, his numbers are still electric because I think he's been massive. But he goes off in that final game. Vinny Pasquantino, he starts to go off. MJ Melendez, I know you highlighted him last episode. They are 4th in OPS. They are 3rd in homers, 2nd in starting pitching ERA. Every facet of the game, the Kansas City Royals have been kind of nasty. The bullpen, I think, has been getting hit here and there, but the other sides of the ball have been doing enough that the Kansas City Royals are 9-4, Trev.
They 7-0 on the homestand. They played the White Sox and the Astros. The most runs they gave up on this homestand was 3. Going to win a lot of ball games if you're only giving up 3 runs. They scored double digits in those 7 games 3 times. Yesterday, the ball was flying. The wind was blowing out there. Bobby Witt Jr. using the wind.
Yeah.
You got to do that. I love that when guys do that. Oh, wind's blowing to right field. Let me hit some balls to right field in the air. Very good. Plus 39 run differentials, best in baseball. They outscored Houston 28-8 in the series. The bullpen had a 19 and a third scoreless inning streak snapped on Thursday, so they have been getting the job done. Brady Singer, they're just getting performances from people that, I guess we didn't really expect them to get it. I saw Sal Perez, he had the walk-off hit. He was playing a little bit of first base in that game yesterday. Kind of love to see that. He's like, what am I doing over here?
Big.
What the
It's a big body,
just here,
man.
I'll try to catch things, guys. But they're winning games in all sorts of different ways. I don't think Bobby Witt's OPS has been under 1 all year, Jake. So I still don't know what you're talking about.
He's from April 5th to the 10th, he had a 3 for 20. It's again for Bobby
all homers.
Witt,
then they must have been all homers
for Bobby Witt. Triple. And again, he bounces back with the 2-homer day. So I don't know. Again, it's one of those obnoxious things. I guess because Cleveland technically above them in the standings right now, and them and the Yankees are going to play this weekend. That's going to be a fun one. I guess have Cleveland or Kansas City changed your outlook? I know it's such an unfair question at this point. Okay,
yes,
good.
They've changed my outlook. Yes, I'm terrified of this. Look, I'm a Twins fan. Everyone knows that. They haven't hit the ball at all. Now, do I think it's going to come around? Sure. It's nice to see Carlos Correa doing his thing. Kirilloff is having a nice start to the season. Jillian did get back in it on I guess it was yesterday, 2 homers, but they're just they can't hit with runners in scoring position yet, or they haven't hit with runners in scoring position at all. I believe they're 1 for something with runners in scoring position on the year.
That's the worst, man. Just
it's horrible.
Straight fan perspective, when that's happening, there's no worse feeling.
So I think, but that's also going to even out. I really do believe the White Sox are out. They're not going to be involved in this whatsoever. But there are watching the Royals and the way they can throw the ball right now and the young offense, like MJ Melendez, we didn't even talk about. Like he's kind of a stud, dude. Vinny doing his thing. Like they have they have a team, and it's a young, fun team. Now, is that going to catch up to them eventually? I don't know. Maybe it's a long season. That usually happens. But the Tigers, we know, are going to be there. And now all of a sudden, the Guardians, they're like the Brewers to me. They just degaff, bro.
Mm.
Shane Bieber, you're out. You're done for the year. They just keep going. Gavin Williams hasn't made a start for them yet. But other guys are picking up the slack. Jose Ramirez is continuing to do his thing. Like the Naylor bros. Yes, we're going to talk about them in a little bit. Like they are they're hitting.
Yeah.
Their offense has been better than expected. So it's a 4-team race.
You want the truth of it, and you hit it when talking about the NL Central before, and it's known by baseball fans, but your young talent controls how good your team is. And we laugh because we get so caught up in free agency. But, Cole Reagans, Brady Singer, Michael Garcia, Pasquantino, Witt Jr., Melendez. Brady Singer's the old guy out of that crew at 27, that when we do team profile and projections, we're like, hey, Royals, let's see. But, if these young guys play like this and MJ Melendez becomes, a known stud quantity, yeah, that changes how you view the Royals. And right now they're getting that.
That's the thing. I mean, any single year, you have your guys that you can kind of rely on, and you're grateful if you have two of those guys in your lineup. Two guys who I know are going to be steady producers, and they're going to be there. I know what they're going to get. Some teams like the Dodgers have more.
Yeah.
The Braves, some of these juggernaut teams have more. Most teams have two, maybe three guys. And then it's what are you going to get from the guys who, aren't superstars, but are you going to get a career year from a couple guys in the same year? And when you do get that, that's when you see, quote unquote, surprise seasons from teams. Like, and some of these guys, we don't even know, who they can be. And Vinny Pasquantino hasn't started the year off too hot, but he got going a little bit in this series. We think he's going to be a great hitter. If that guy has a career year, then Nelson Velasquez, who not in my book really, but he's had a really good start to the year out of Carolina, Puerto Rico. That doesn't make any sense.
Real pop.
Like him, if this guy goes out and puts up an 8 OPS, that's massive for the Royals. That's that length we keep talking about. So the Central is going to be interesting. I mean, both Centrals, AL and NL mid, ha ha ha. No, man, they're coming out hot right now, and a lot of it is geared and swung by young dudes, which I like.
I like that too. Are you you mentioned your Twins are struggling to hit. The Seattle Mariners, they've got a little bit of that going on too. They're currently 29th in OPS, 26th in runs. Also, their starting pitching is 28th in ERA, and that was, I feel like the week or two leading up to the season, everyone was kind of doing a Mariners starting pitching thing. Again, there's a good chance we could look back in June and say, hey, the Mariners rotation clicked and, a couple guys in their lineup started to go. But I don't know. I've got a little yellow flag up for Seattle. We got to nip this in the bud, man. I know Houston's also gone off to a slow start, and the Rangers are leading the division at 7-6. So that's where this early season fodder can get you in trouble if I tried to bury the Mariners right now, because they could be a week away from leading the division. But I don't know, man. That hitting is contagious, and right now it's contagious in a bad way.
Shout out to the Blue Jays for taking the series. Some really good pitching out of their starters there, and really could have, won every single game. The Mariners, clip them in extras on that last day. Cal Raleigh gets the homers and the little jab at Schneider, which I kind of love, to be honest with you. I don't know if you guys know that story, but Schneider last year said he's easy to pitch to if you execute your pitches. He's hitting 200, but Cal Raleigh's kind of own the Blue Jays as well, so it's a weird thing to say.
And how many hitters in baseball, if you execute your pitches, are easy to get out. Like I don't know.
I
Car-
feel like
Cal
most
Raleigh's quote
guys,
was a
if you're
lot-
careful and
Unless
Yeah.
it's like Miguel Cabrera in his prime. I don't know if you execute your
you got to be a
pitches.
kind of special guy
The
to.
whole thing was a little bizarre.
If a guy doesn't
Yeah,
make a mistake, you crush him.
Cal Raleigh says a lot of guys have a problem with that guy in the league, which is, that's a tough pill to swallow for Schneider. Where was I?
Blue Jays, Mariners. Blue Jays pitched well.
Yeah, Vlad with a nice homer to tie the game. We don't care about the shushing people, okay?
No.
We don't care. Does that every homer? We know that. Also, congrats on your new yard. It looks beautiful in Toronto, by the way. Like, I need to go
Okay.
and see everything fully renovated there. I loved playing there, and I went there last year when some of the renovations were done. It was really cool. They have like really cool, like huge, like bar up top there. The CN Tower is the scariest thing in the world when you're playing there. I don't know. I just thought I'd shout them out because they finally got it all done, and I'm sure it's beautiful there. The Mariners, Jake, what did they say they were trying to do this offseason? And the reason they traded Eugenio Suarez and some of these other guys from their team.
They let Teoscar go, and they weren't worried about it because they said those guys were striking out too much.
Currently, right now, they're second in baseball in strikeouts. So I don't know what the problem is there. But last couple of years, I said this Mariners team has a chance to really be good offensively. And I still feel that way, but they just haven't got it done. They have a 602 team OPS.
God. That's contagious.
Their OBP is 278. You're not going to win baseball games getting on base at a 27% clip. You're just not. It's crazy, man.
Julio off to a slow start, and he's done this his past
Julio
2
has to
years.
be a superstar for them almost every single year right now, it seems. And if he's not, then they're not going to go. It's interesting. I want to believe in this Mariners team, and Gilbert's been pitching fine, and Bryce Miller's been pitching fine, but Castillo has had really 3 rough starts for them. They got to get it going, man. Got to get it going.
Good for the Jays. Good for the Jays. They got some good pitching. Bichette and Vladdy, Yabos.
Bichette's happy, bro.
Yeah, I know, man. Sometimes I think we forget that we're Yankee fans and we're hated. That there's
I hate you.
there's a lot of baby Jays fans that'll never be super warm to us. But yeah, I don't know. I had Blue Jay fans agreeing with me, but the other people with targets had the knives out. So I don't know, man. I'm rooting for Vladdy and Bichette. They should be stars of the game. I just thought it was a weird post game. Yankees. I think I want to highlight someone in a minute. You already talked a little Cleveland. Do we want to? You want to get to the second half of the show?
Get to the second half of the show. Shout out Jose Caballero, by the way.
Yeah, just getting on base. A little homer from him. Rays going Rays. They hate that. Let's do the second half of the show, and let's do some standout performances.
Near you.
I'll go. I'll be the Friday guy.
Okay.
Actually, you go, because I'm going to pivot off of yours.
I am doubling up here. I'm going with the bros. Josh and Bo Naylor on National Siblings Day, which is awesome because these guys are just ballers, and all they care about is baseball and playing and having fun. They didn't know it was National Siblings Day. Where do you find these days? Is there a calendar that just has the days on it? It's like, it's National Pancake Day today. Is it?
I have no
Can I just
clue,
make shit
man.
up right now?
I think the world dupes up with that stuff. Like I would not be shocked if there's 3 National Pancake Days, and IHOP just rolls.
Oh, the
it.
pancake industry's in on it, is what you're saying.
Yeah, like I think people just make this stuff up.
I like that.
Like if you're IHOP and your biggest days of the year is National Pancake Day, why not have 3 National Pancake Days?
Once a quarter.
Canadian International Pancake Day.
Well, on Wednesday, the Naylor Bros did it. They hit a homer in the same inning, which is, first of all, just playing with your brother in any type of baseball is awesome. At the major league level is really, really cool. on the same team is even cooler. Hitting a homer in the same inning, that's peak. That's peak bro ball right there is what it is.
Mm.
Like, amazing. They both went 2 for 4. Bo Naylor with the younger bro. Bo Naylor with the walk-off RBI single as well. I mean, I don't think it gets better than that. Like, what else is there in life than to be balling with your bro in the big leagues, both hitting homers and hitting a walk-off single? I think that is about as good as day as you can have in your life. So shout out the Naylor Bros for doing that. And Cleveland just keeps winning. They just keep winning. I wanted to give my standout to Lane Thomas because we just like Lane Thomas on this show. I do like watching him play, but he's got off to a really slow start, and I didn't want to just highlight one game. So go Naylor Bros. Congratulations on your stand-up performance.
Couple things. One, just got jealous that you both have brothers. I mean, no offense to my sister.
The best.
Renee.
Everyone loves my brother too. It's kind of bullshit.
Oh, he's the man. He's
it's
the
been that way
guy.
my whole life.
Awesome.
I'm excited to watch Cleveland because, like everything we raved about the Royals, Cleveland is off to a similar, if not better, start. The Naylor brothers, I mean, to be, what are they, 3 years apart or something like that, and then being on the same team, that's pretty sick. Stephen Kwan is out to a baller start. He got off to a slow start last year, so excited for him.
What'd you say about the Naylor Bros before the show? It was a positive thing, people. Hey, shout out Stephen Vogt. Great counsel.
How about that?
Gets
Best
all this hoopla.
Naylor. Barry Knower. Look at Stephen Vogt. Look at Stephen Vogt. Excited to watch Chris Rose's guards. I know I'll get a weird late night text from him about a play Andres Jimenez makes. Guard dogs be hitting. Hey, this guy's not my standout because I actually want to pivot off the Naylor brothers. Shea Langeliers,
nice game.
3-homer day from the catcher.
They only scored 4 runs that day.
They took 2 out of 3 from Texas too. There's not going to be a ton of A's highlights this year, I don't think. He deserves some love. I wanted to pivot because I'm actually going with some throwers, and I'm going with if they were making an MLB version of the movie Twins. I think these two pitching-wise would be a pretty good tandem in that movie. Tyler Glasnow goes 7 innings, 14 Ks against your Twins.
In 88 pitches?
And I know I do this once every 2 months. 14 Ks, like that's unholy. No walks out of Glasnow. Love that. And then on the other side, his twin, Nestor Cortez. 8 innings pitched. Only allows 2 hits to 1 player. I think it was De La Cruz on Miami. Also no walks, only 6 Ks. But the 8 innings, and that was the most. I don't know if that was the most we've seen from a starter this year, but in this segment of the show. So Nestor, the maybe 5'10" lefty, twirling it up there and would be huge for the New York Yankees if he taps into the good Nestor Cortez we've seen. And then Tyler Glasnow, 6'8", Adonis with his 14 Ks. So I thought you had the Naylor bros. I had the pitching bros.
Like that.
For this week's stand out performance.
I asked Olivia if she thought Tyler Glasnow was hot. Because I think
okay,
what
here
I'm
we
gonna
go.
Yeah, here, people, have this. I am going to put out a hot boy list again soon. I think I'm going to change up the way I do it, and we'll talk a little off camera about it. But I want to involve some of the people that are here with me, and I think I'm going to have Olivia also be a part of this. So I say, hey, look at this guy. Think this guy's hot? You know what she said? She doesn't like the hair.
Tyler's
I think
very
that's a common
pretty.
misconception.
Tyler's pretty, which I don't think some girls like that. I think some girls like to be the pretty side of the relationship. I don't know.
I then said, hey, he's like 6'4", like with an incredible body.
6'4".
She's like, all right, whatever. This is a common misconception. I've heard this a lot when I put my list out there. Like I like the guys with the hair. Like I always kind of put them on my list, and like that's been the biggest thing. The pushback from the ladies is like that's a guy thing. Guys think that's hot. Like girls, not a lot of girls think that's that hot.
Some girls
can
do.
or can't.
Some girls do. I mean, like Jonathan India.
I'm telling you, that's been the biggest
hot.
pushback.
Like I think Jonathan India is hot, where Glasnow's pretty.
I've kind of taken a step back on Jonathan India.
Yeah, I think Jimmy got in your head on that one. He said the hair got too long.
A little bit.
My Jessica, this is becoming a segment. Because it's always interesting getting a significant other's point of view. There was someone on the Yankees doing their post game, and she said, "Who's that hunk?"
Oh, I gotta guess.
Any guesses? It was
Post
a pitch.
games?
It was a pitcher. I'll give you guys.
Oh,
that.
I was gonna say position play. Okay, so it was a pitcher.
It surprised me a little bit, and then it kind of made sense.
Was it Luis Heel?
It was not Luis Heel.
Okay.
I don't know
Good
why
guess.
Clark's in my head. He's just a handsome fella.
Carlos Rodon.
Yeah.
The trimmed up Carlos Rodon. Because in my
It's
head,
like a beefcake.
dude, and then because I did a double take for a second, and I looked
Here
at
I am Googling Carlos Rodon.
dude, the new slim down Rodon definitely has like high school linebacker energy.
Oh my gosh, he looks like the bully.
A little bit.
Really rich bully.
Yeah, sure
That's
is.
exactly what a girl likes.
Yeah.
A rich bad boy?
And he, hey, 6-0 Ernie's from him. Sloppy last inning, but part of the reason the Yankees are off to their hot start. There was a ton of guys, per usual, that could have got love.
Tyler
Hey,
Anderson.
Jurickson Profar had a big day at the office. Nimmo, your guy Will Benson chasing 30-30.
Dylan Cease, by the way. If Padres didn't make that trade, where are the Padres at?
Good question.
He's looked great.
But Trev, as you well know, there's a place that every baseball player wants to end up.
Dirt nasties on Fuego. That means I'm on fire, baby. Like Waco.
I love this segment. A couple of the guys that I wanted to have as my standout are on this list, so I didn't have him as my standout. Colton Cowser, our freaking guy in that series against Boston, 6 for 13, 3 doubles, 2 homers, 10 ribbies.
Whoa.
Get you some steaks, kid.
Sheesh.
That's how you do it, man. Vinny, the Pasquatch. My kids love him because of the Sasquatch that comes out when I have Royals games on. They're like, what is this, Dad? And I had to explain to him, like, this is our guy. He goes 6 for 12, getting it going, Vin. 2 doubles, a homer, 8 ribbies in that series against Houston. So we're talking some big boy stakes going on right now. Then Brandon Nimmo of the New York Mets, 7 for 14, 2 doubles, a triple, 2 homers. He had 7 RBI against those Braves. So shout out those boys. In a week, Ellie De La Cruz, 8 for 20, 2 doubles, 3 homers, 6 ribbies, 9 runs scored, 4 stolen bases. He's maybe has a case for the most electric player in baseball. I think he's up there, right?
Yep.
You mentioned Jurickson Profar, 8 for 19,
Sure.
2 doubles, 2 homers, 7 RBI, 421 average, 1.2 in this weekend. Congratulations on 10-year service time. I saw that on
Tyler
Eric
Wade's
Hosmer.
Oh, okay.
Shouted it out on Moonball Media.
I think I saw that on
Talk to Mike Moustakas about that.
Tyler Wade's Insta story. That's where I get my
Shout out.
updates.
Former teammate of mine. I don't think he liked me.
Jurickson?
Yeah, because I came in with the Rangers, and maybe him and I were gonna be battling for something. Turns out we weren't at all. The Rangers did not plan on me doing anything for them. It's when I, whatever. Don't worry.
Rivette brought
Jordan
him
Hicks.
potentially in his way.
Yeah, Jordan Hicks. This guy's doing it, people. Did we talk about this a little bit?
We
about
did.
How just a great contract for the Giants.
Right, like even the potential worst case that contract like can't hurt you, where it could
You're
be
a great reliever for
Yeah.
$11 million a year. Anyways, he's been a great starter for them. Last 2 starts, 13 innings pitched, 9 hits, only 2 earned runs, 7 Ks for the 1.38 ERA. Now, this is the one you really want to be on, Jake. 2 weeks into the season, and this is the Fuego for 2 weeks. Our guy, Yelly, who I believe has made some mechanical adjustments. I saw him in the offseason. Typically in that load, he gets a real low crouch. And I think the eye level changing, and then also the ability to attack him at the top of the zone because he's so crouched. He's also not using like leverage, so the power was down. I think he's a little bit more upright. That's what I see. I texted our guy Brad Boyer, who works with him in the offseason. I said, "Is that really what's going on?" I haven't got a response from him yet. 2 weeks, 12 for 38. Double. He's got 5 homers, 11 ribbies. He's hitting 316, 1.1ing it over the season. What a stud. Go Brew Crew. Go Brew Crew, go. How about this guy?
Yeah.
Starting pitcher on the Rangers. Not who you would be thinking of. Cody Bradford.
Yeah.
3 games started, 19 and a third innings pitched, only giving up 3 earned runs. He struck out 17 people and only walked 2. He's got a 1.4 ERA and a 0.62 whip. And another guy you're probably not thinking about too much. You're talking about relievers who are going off. And I actually had to take a double take when I saw Miller on the Tigers.
Yeah.
And I was like, who's this guy? It's Shelby Miller. He's pitching 5 games. He's 3-0. He's got 7 innings pitched. Hasn't given up a fucking hit.
No need.
He's only allowed 2 base runners. He's got a 0 ERA and a 0.29 whip. Yes. Like stuff like that gets me fired up. Go Shelby Miller. Go. And that, my friends, Susan Fuego.
That's Shelby Miller.
I said, who's this Miller guy?
I was watching one of their games against the Mets that he got into, and I saw like single-digit number Miller. And I was like, "It's a position player in what's the score right now?" Then I saw it was Shelby Miller.
Him and Jack
Mind
Flaherty with the single-digit pitching numbers going on.
Jackson's such a good headspace, man.
Awesome.
He's like in love right now.
Yeah, right?
Pitching well.
Hey, and we've done a lot about pitching and velo lately. Cody Bradford, fastball sits at 90. Throws it 49% of the time with a change curveball. Like, okay.
It's a fun watch.
I think I'm trying to make non-velo guys sexy. Cody Bradford, you're my guy. Keep twirling it.
You know, you can change the narrative. Say,
Out of Baylor.
ligament not in danger. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it still kind of is. Like, it's still
But
are
like
still
less
in
in
danger.
less. 6'4".
Never know, but
Good for
It's
you.
like if I stay in the right-hand lane and I just 10 and 2 it
Right.
on the wheel and I go the speed limit, chances of me getting in an accident are less.
Shelby Miller. Wow. Trev, thank you for Fuego. Arguably the best segment of the show. IL, traditionally my least favorite segment of the
Yes.
show. And man, there were some tough ones. TJ Antone again. Really nice dude. Root for him. We've done all the pitchers. Framber, Pivetta, Josiah Gray. Yoan Moncada with an ugly injury. Looks like he'll be out till like halfway through the season, and I think he's in the last year of his contract. So let's see what happens there. Brandon Lau gets banged up. He'll miss a little bit of time.
they
Brent
said
Rooker.
that's going to be a long one.
Yeah. What happened to Kepler, Trev? I've got him on this list. Do you know?
He was struggling for a while.
But I have good news. Because with the IL list, we have now hit the point of the season where players are returning. And I like that part of the IL. Sonny Gray back in action. Wade Miley, a favorite here. Colin Holderman, that Pittsburgh bullpen. And Lars Nootbaar for your St. Louis Cardinals. So I can get myself excited for that. Which brings us to the start of the weekend.
Awards!
And it is brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook. Remember, gamble responsibly, but get in on the action with DraftKings. And right now, if you want to get in, new customers who bet $5 will get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Do not forget to use our code TALKIN. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use promo code TALKIN, $5 on any wager, and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code TALKIN only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
I'll tease the people. Fun DraftKings thing coming next week.
Yeah? Yeah.
So
Keep an eye out.
I almost gave my award to our guy, Michael Tonkin.
Big
And he's
Mike.
back on the Twins,
Big
baby.
Mike.
Be back.
He's back on the Twins, my guy. But I had this one in the bank as soon as I saw this story. I have some questions, and this might lead into a bigger discussion. I do have baseball today to get to. Son of a gun. Time is rolling when you're having fun. Jillian Albayati. Come get your flowers, because this story is awesome, okay? She's been involved. She's a softball / baseball player that's been involved in like the women's national team. Like she can play. She played baseball in high school, was all CIF at her school, doing her thing. She played in the 2018 Girls Baseball Breakthrough Series, which is a lot of fun. This week, on Sunday of last week, she did something that nobody's ever done in Division II in college. Somebody did it the year before in Division III, so shout out Christina Ellsbury. She played in a softball game and a baseball game in the same day. And I just think this story is so cool. She actually had a double header for softball, and she played in the first game, and they won via walk-off grand slam. Not her, but she was there to celebrate that. Boom. Done with that one. Runs straight over and helps the team. I'm getting the name up. I just forgot it. Where is it at? Cal State San Marcos. My bad. Cal State San Marcos, the baseball team, has been struggling with some pitching injuries. So, like, the roster is kind of decimated. They were thinking about holding open tryouts just to cover some innings for the game. That's not where you want to be at on a baseball team. But the softball head coach was like, hey, like, I got someone that could do business for you. So Jillian heads on over there, puts the baseball uniform on, and goes and throws an inning and does it for him. Not only that, after that, she goes back and plays the second game of her doubleheader. I say this all the time about baseball. This is an awesome story, and I'm very happy that this is out there, and hopefully this continues to happen more. Baseball is one of the only professional sports where, like, physicality isn't the biggest thing in the game, right? Like, it helps,
right?
Like in anything. But football, man, you got to be physical. Basketball, I feel like you really got to be physical or just extremely tall. I would say the same thing about hockey. You got to be really physical. We see people of all different shapes and sizes on the baseball field. When are we going to see like a lightning fast second baseman girl come up and make it in the game? Like, why couldn't we see that? You don't have to hit homers. You can steal bags, play a lights out second base defensively. I feel like we're gonna get there eventually. And if we're not like scouting this, like maybe we're missing out. Like hey, newsflash, half the population is women. Okay, like, are we gonna start? Do you know that, Jake?
Yeah, that's news to me.
When are we gonna start seeing this? Like, I think we absolutely could. So this award goes to Jillian Albayati. But really, it's a great day for women in baseball. And the fact that we haven't seen it yet is kind of interesting to me. I think we need to start looking. I mean, look, in the States, we have programs that do it. But like in the DR, in Venezuela, you don't think there's some ladies out there that can ball it up? I guarantee there are. And I would love to see that. And I think second base is a great position that can be played. And I want a speedster. I want a speedster, switch hitting second baseman girl to come and just blow all of our minds, man, and be in the big leagues. I think it's going to happen. So shout out to Jillian. Just an incredible story, dude. Think about that. Like, really put yourself in her shoes. You play a softball game, take the jersey off, run, and pitch in a baseball game, and then go back to your softball all in one day. It's just awesome. So, snaps for her. Congratulations on your award.
Trev, you mentioned second base. I mean, how much have we been talking about pitching this past week or two? And that's what she did in this game. That, hey, you can get me outs. I don't know, man. If 10 years ago, if I told you there was this Japanese dude that would be a top 10 pitcher and a top 10 hitter in the game, everyone would have scoffed at you. Why not? Why not? Let's see it. Go, Jillian, go. My award, slightly different. I'm giving out the Big Diesel Award. Trev, I know you've got some Laker pride in your heart. When I think about the Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal, I jump to him in that Laker purple and gold, wearing the 34, just dominating. And there's a starting pitcher in baseball, 34 straight starts going 5 innings or more. All the pitching stuff we've been talking about, trying to get length out of starters, the whole conversation around, baseball in general. Mitch Keller of your Pittsburgh Pirates, the last 34 times he's started a game, he's pitched at least 5 innings. Man, what that does for your bullpen, what that does for your team. Never mind Mitch. He's been doing it at a pretty high level. And he is the one for the Pittsburgh Pirates that we talked a little bit about having another hot start. 9-4 with their closer having blown 3 out of his 4 opportunities. I don't know, man. We talk a lot about horses around the game and, Gallons throwing innings in the 200 innings pitch club. Mitch Keller, the longest streak in the majors, 34 times stepping on the bump. Basically a full season of starts that he has given them at least 5 innings. And I thought that needed to be shout out. And Mitch might be swinging by the office next week, so maybe I'm sucking up a little bit. We'll see.
I heard that Mitch and possibly Hot Boy Jared Jones.
Yeah. Okay,
going to be by the office.
Rumors.
That's an incredible award, an incredible accomplishment for Mitch. I mean, people talk about this Pirates team, and they got these young guys coming up, and they're going to be good, and Jared Jones and Paul Skeens. But you got a guy already at the top of the rotation that's setting the example for this team, and that's why they gave him the 5-year $77. He got his payday. He's been consistently getting better as a pro. And if you're able to do what he's done, I mean, you're talking 5 innings pitched, 34 straight times, no blowups in that. I mean, it's very, very impressive. And I believe, I asked Mike Moustakis this yesterday. I said, who have you played with that hits the ball the farthest of any baseball player? I said Aaron Hicks. And I believe it was Mitch Keller, he said. Could have been Brad Keller as well, but I believe it was Mitch Keller.
Okay.
He was a golfer.
Golf. Okay.
Right.
Okay. That makes a little more sense.
Golf.
Still thought we were talking ball. I was like, wow, I know Hicksy could turn on one. I didn't know he had it like that. Speaking of golf, hope everyone gets a little Masters in. It is one of the best things sports puts in the world. But go check out some ball around the league. Let us know anything we missed with your team. You know your team better than us, as always. Maybe go check out Baseball Today. Plouffe and Rose. Good luck at the live show, Trev. It's going to be a good time.
Liv's coming.
Woo!
Drink sucks.
Mitch Keller, Brad Keller. Backyard Brad, what's he been doing this year?
I think he's hurt. He got his ring. He was in Texas, got his ring. I saw that. Maybe he's not playing. I don't know. Cole Tucker signs with the Angels.